Hello students. Okay, so let's solve this question. Monica made 24 cupcakes for a party. The guests ate 8 cupcakes. What percent does the fraction of eaten cupcakes represent? And we're gonna be using our strategy of cubes. So I'm gonna get started identifying my numbers and their meaning. So here says that she made 24 cupcakes. Now the guests ate 8 cupcakes. And the question is, what percent does the fraction of eating cupcakes represent? So I did underline, and I'm gonna say that I circled too, but I didn't circle, I just highlighted instead. And then I'm gonna put my question in a box. So they wanna know percent for the fraction that they ate. Okay, so we did box, and now I have to go to the section of elaborate. In this section I have to use a strategy. I can draw a picture, something that tells me how to figure my answer. And in this case, because I see they have percent and fractions, I'm gonna bring a T-chart so I can record my numbers. So I'm going to identify the sections that I'm going to fill in my table. And I'm going to have to figure percent. So I'm going to highlight this in yellow because that's the way I did it here. And then I'm going to do fraction. And then I'm going to do it on the other side. Well, I know that fractions have part to whole, right? So I'm going to put the division symbol, but for fraction. And we have a total. What is the total number of cupcakes? Is 24. And now what is the part that they made? It is 8. Okay, so this is how our fractions gonna look like. But the fractions can always be simplified. So here on the side I'm gonna write simplify the fraction. And the fraction is a over 24. We can only start dividing by 2. That's a friendly number. If the two numbers are even. 8 is even and 24 is even. So I'm going to say divide by 2 and divide by 2 in here. So now I'm going to do the division. 8 divided by 2, that's going to be a 4. And 24 divided by 2, that's going to be 12. Great. Can I divide these two numbers by 2 one more time? Yes, because they are even. So I'm gonna say 4 divided by 2, that gives me 2. And 12 divided by 2, that gives me 6. And one more time, I got even numbers. Can I simplify them? Yes, dividing by 2 and dividing by 2. When I divide 2 by 2, gives me 1. And when I divide 6 by 2, that gives me 3. So this fraction is the same as 1 over 3. It's the same. We just rewrote it to our convenience. And the question is to find the percent. I can do it in two different ways. I'm going to do it first, in this case, by division. Remember that this symbol for the fraction means long division. So what I can do is I can use a strategy that is called Nido, or any other strategy your teacher is teaching you in the classroom. Numerator is this, and the I stands for inside. D is denominator, and the O stands for outside. What it means is that 1 could be inside the division symbol and that 3 could be outside the division symbol. Great, now we're gonna divide and I'm gonna see if I can multiply 3 times anything to get a 1. And that's not gonna happen, so we cannot use this place value. I'm gonna add a decimal point, and because we added a decimal point, we can add a 0. Great, now we're gonna multiply. Can I multiply 3 by any number to get close to 10? Yeah, by 3. And that's gonna be 3 times 3, that gives me 9. Let's do our subtraction. 10 minus 9, that's gonna be 1. Because we already placed a decimal point, that allows me to add a 0. And we wanna bring it down. And that's gonna be 0 right here. 3 times what is close to 10, and we already did it. Notice in here. So it's gonna be again 3. And it's gonna be again a 9. And again it's gonna be 1. And again we can add a 0. Bring it down. And then we will have to multiply again 3 times 3. And you see how this pattern keeps repeating? So that's why we have this little line on the top that means this is a terminating decimal. So the decimal here will be 0.3333, like that. That will be the decimal. And to rewrite a decimal into percent, I'm gonna bring one of my flashcards for fraction, decimal, and percent. Great. So notice that we have our fraction, decimal, and percent here, and this is the value that we got here, and this is the value that we got here, and in reality it's the same. Notice that on the very top we have this little line that means the decimal keeps repeating, and we have it in here too. So that means that we will have many threes behind, like this, right? But so far I just want to have 4. I'm going to take away this too. Now notice here how we went from decimal to percent. This number 1/3 or this decimal 0.33 or 33.33 is the same number. That's why we have the same picture. We're just learning how to rewrite the numbers for our convenience. Great. Okay, so when someone tells we have 0.33 of a rectangle, and when somebody else is saying we have 33.33% of that rectangle, they mean exactly the same. Now, how can I go from this number to this other number? You notice here this decimal point is between these two trees. That means we will have to move our decimal point towards the right, 2 place values. And why is that? Because we are multiplying by 100. And multiplying by 100 increases the number 2 place values. How many zeros do we have in the 100? We have 2. Okay, those two place values is what we are increasing to go from decimal to percent. So this is the same representation. So right here I see that my answer is 33.33%, and it keeps going. And it goes like that. And now I'm gonna look at the answer choices. Choice A is only 30%, and 30% is not the same. So that cannot be your answer. Choice B says 33%, so this 33 does match with this. And then it has 1/3. But I know that 1/3 is the same as 0.333. So this makes sense. 25%, no, we got 33. And 33, yes, we got 33, but also we have the decimal point and these digits behind. So we cannot really take this one. Now I'm going to just make a comment. You see how here we did a long division? The other way is if we memorize our flashcards, which is very convenient, just like we memorize our timetables, That way we can just say, hey, 1/3, I know that one by memory. That is 33.33%, and the 3 keeps repeating. And then that way you can figure your answer. Well, guys, you did a great job. Awesome.